Susie Roberti. Welcome to Let's Talk Tail Waggers. I have a wonderful, fun, important show today, and two of my favorite people are here with us. So I'm going to say thank you, George, and thank you to, what is your name, dear?
Cortland.
Cortland, thank you. I always thank my camera people. BPTV is all volunteers. And if you'd like to come up and do a show, or just learn how to use cameras, which is lots of fun, or just go on a show, or just come up and visit us. It's a wonderful little corner of the world. So now that's been said, I can say hi, Susie Smith.
Hello, Susie Roberti.
How are you?
I'm great now that I'm on the show with you again.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other since February, huh?
February, yeah. So this is fun. I enjoy your show.
And hi, Andy.
Hi, Susie. How are you? Good.
I haven't seen you since July 20th last year.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
A year.
Wow.
So now you're part of the Tailwagger family. They
Sounds
come
good to me.
back, and you're a family. And introduce your lovely.
This is my daughter, Shelby Lynn, and our fine friends here on the floor is Handcuffs here, American Rottweiler, and Benny Rossi, who's the new Benevolent Foundation's mascot, American Pit Bull.
Isn't he beautiful? Yes, look how handsome
Look
he
at
is.
Cuffs.
Oh, God.
Both rescues.
It breaks your heart. So, what about Pets for Vets? What's going on?
Oh, the Pets for U.S. Vets. We have a program down at the Washington Area Humane Society that you helped me start back in 2010, helped me get the word out. So if you're looking to adopt or you know someone that's a veteran that's looking to adopt, there's no charge at the Washington Area Humane Society. And all of the animals are spayed, neutered, up to date on shots, socialized, and defleed.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and
kitty
microchipped.
cats, too.
Oh, cats too.
Yeah,
free to
cats,
our
too.
veterans. We just want to give back.
Yeah, I think that is the loveliest idea.
Oh,
I
it just
really
it just came to me one day, and then somehow I got hooked up with you, and we spread the word,
Yeah.
and it's really coming along. A lot of animals we've emptied out the shelter probably a dozen times over.
Wow. Our favorite story is about Jack.
Jack, oh, little Jack was.
Chihuahua mix.
Yeah, and he couldn't go to any home with kids because he was aggressive toward kids. And then?
Well, then we were doing the show, and he was walking around up here and kissing and loving. And Susie said he can't be with children, so, don't go down.
That's what we were told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, okay. And I looked in the camera and said, remember, no children. So, because he had been in a cage, and he would, when they would go near the cage, because it was closed, he'd go roar, 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 and that's
Yeah.
called a cage biter.
Yeah.
But they left the door open, and he'd just come out and walk around. So, when Susie left, and the next time, I think, when we did a show, Kelly came up and said, oh, Jack got adopted. And we were like, oh, you're kidding. Who? And she said, well, this lady came in with a little boy that was about 7, sat down on the floor by the cages, and he come out of his cage and got right in his lap, and that was the end.
And the little boy was autistic.
You know what? We just did a thing with the kid.
chills.
Last year we had the Ben Dreyer, who was Dave Dreyer's son, that
Yeah.
we got the autism service dog for, and he's getting ready to graduate from his program with him. But it is amazing. I went when they did the picks. The dogs picked the kids, not the other way around.
That's what this little Jack
And this
did.
is exactly the same thing, and it is amazing to see, and you see, the work of the Lord there, because
definitely.
it happens immediately.
Yeah.
We watched it, and I was just amazed to watch the dog walked, laid down at the back of his legs, and it was it. They were partners.
He picked
Yeah.
Ben?
He picked Ben.
Yeah, and this little guy come out of his cage and went over and sat right in his lap, and he ended the story.
And they try to talk him out, but they're like, oh, he doesn't like kids. And Jack's like, oh, yeah, I do. I like kids. I like this
Basically,
one.
I like this one kid.
This one kid.
He
I
was
like.
trying to tell the rest of the kids, stay away till I find my boy.
It was
Oh, that's exactly.
sometimes when I'm driving the
just
car
gives me
and
chills when I think about it.
and I feel sad for some reason during the day or something, or I'm driving the car and I'll look it up and I'll think, little Jack, I'm glad you got it. Just it just pumps your heart just all full of good stuff.
It does.
Really
And,
does.
and so Ben did get his dog then?
Yeah, he got the dog, and
Aw.
actually at our event this year, he's going to be presented with his graduation. He will finish the first of all the trainings that he's done, and he'll be. He's been doing real good with Copper over the time. It's just taken a little bit because of scheduling difficulties and that. But he's going to graduate at the Paws event with us this year. So that'll be cool.
And we've got lots of vets that had sad hearts, and now they have happy hearts.
Yeah, so we're doing some good work here. And the nice thing about Tail Waggers, and I know you're going to tell us about your program coming up,
Oh,
but
yeah.
the nice thing about Tail Waggers, it's all volunteers. And so the group of us here, the camera people too, we're just trying to get the word out.
Yeah, that's it.
It's funny because I kept thinking of that. My brother-in-law, who's still in the military, my sister called and says, "Hey, I want to adopt a dog. You know anybody?" Yeah, we're going down to the Pets for Vets program.
Yeah.
As soon as you're ready, we're headed down to
All right, good.
down there. So they'll be getting one from down there soon too.
Good news.
The other
Yeah.
better part has to be is she completely forgot how in tune we are with animal rescues and everything, and she's like, "Oh yeah, does anybody know where to get a good dog at?"
She
I'm like,
posted on
"Oh yeah."
Facebook. We're both like, really? We're like, really?
Okay, let's hear about you and your organization.
Well, the Western PA Police Benevolent Foundation is getting ready to do. He knows his part. Look, getting ready to do the 3rd annual Paws for the Cause event.
Cause for the cause.
As you can see, our fine friends are sporting their nifty apparel, just
Their
like
T-shirts.
Shelby's.
Match.
I'm an official. I got a T-shirt.
That's right. You've been brought in now.
All right.
August 24th, we're going to be at the old, ironically enough, the Army base. They used to be up in Oakdale, Collier, who's now been turned into a municipal park. And we will be doing the Paws for the Cause event, which is pretty much about a 6 or 8 hour day that starts with a walk. Everybody registers, brings their own dogs. We take a couple hundred dogs out for a walk. Yeah.
So I should bring my own dog?
Yeah, you bring your own dog,
Yes.
and then what we do is after the walk, we have vendors set up of all different dog-related and pet-related products and services, and then we have therapy dogs, service dogs, work dogs. The autism service dogs will be there.
And the people can talk with
Yeah,
all.
yeah. All of the groups that come can register to actually do a presentation. We do demonstrations throughout the day, and it's really started to get people educated to the amazing things that these guys can do for you.
Yeah.
You know, especially, and that was how we got in touch with everybody to get the autism dog for Ben, was through our first Paws for the Cause event.
What kind of dog is it that Ben
He is
got?
Copper is a German Shepherd.
Oh, okay.
She's a sable, beautiful little dog. She's, you know, he said, "I'm going to get a black male shepherd," and he took a sable female.
Oh, she
So
took him.
She took him, exactly. I said, "So much for your plan, Ben."
I love
Sable, you know, Copper had another idea.
Isn't that funny? How it
But
works?
I love it.
It's really neat because we get a lot of people that come, and one of my good friends comes every year, which is Shorty Rossi from the Pit Boss show on TV on Animal Planet. And he addresses the crowd. He talks about breed-specific legislation and being a responsible owner, and all of the issues that he travels the world talking about. He comes here. He's made Pittsburgh like a secondary home. He comes a couple times a year now with us, and it's really neat. Like we just did a calendar with him that's going to be for his charities, and it's going to include our benevolent foundation.
Wow.
It's called Shorty's World 2014.
Oh,
And
Very good.
so we can order those?
you can order those too. If you go, I'll get you the link on our Facebook page. I just put the pre-sale up, and our pictures that were taken locally. 2 months will have Pittsburgh featured. The month of May has a bunch of the police officers from our foundation in the city of Pittsburgh up on Mount Washington with our pit bulls. And then we did one in Collier Township with the Rennerdale Fire Department, and they're going to be, I believe, September.
He's
Is
Quincy.
he,
And
is he on the calendar?
no, he isn't, but Benny is.
Oh, Benny is,
Benny's in the
okay.
calendar.
Oh, buddy.
Hold his ears so he doesn't hear that.
What do you mean I'm not on there? Hold his ears.
Earmuffs. It's neat too because our project actually started as a senior project for my daughter in school, and we chose to do this, and we've decided to keep doing it every year, and it gets larger. More rescue groups are going to be involved this year.
Gee, you think maybe you were supposed to do that?
I think.
You think you were supposed to do that?
You know what? Honestly, I started out with a completely different mindset to where I wanted to start things. You know, we had a horse. Sadly, he passed away due to some issues he had as a birth defect. And he was going to be my senior project. And then it was like, okay, you know, time to rethink, replay out the everything. And Dad goes, you know what? You know, stuff's going on with Jimmy Kuzak right now. Let's do this. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And all of a sudden, it started out as just a spaghetti dinner dance, and then all of a sudden it turned into, now we're having a complete dog function, which is fine, all well and good. So here rolls around the time of the event, and all the running around they had to do, and turn around, there comes the event, meeting Shorty for the first time, you know, doing all that, and it was like, wow, you know, there's so many people here, and they're all here to come help what we started. And then I took him for my senior project when I finally, at the end of the year, in my school, we had to do this big 15-minute presentation. I took him, and I took handcuffs with me, and he just sat in the back of the room the whole time until I brought him up in front with me. And nobody could believe how well he is in tune with Dad now, and how well he listens to the two of us. And then my mom's like, you know what, you still need your Gold Award for Girl Scouts. I'm like, oh, okay. We all talk about that there's just a lot of drama, a lot of extra paperwork. It really didn't want to be done. You know, because they changed everything on me like 3 times in a matter of the time that I was a senior and ambassador scout. So I was like, okay, fine. All right, I'll do it again. So I went, and round 2 was coming. I knew no matter what, even if I didn't do round 2, Dad was doing round 2, so I would have been into it anyways.
Sounds like you and your dad get into a lot of things together.
A little bit.
Little bit.
Just a little bit, right?
I mean, when it comes to whatever, I mean, the horses, these guys, you know, whatever I need. Benny, where are you going?
I think he's trying to get to Susie.
Benny,
Hi, babe.
I miss you.
I see you.
Whatever it comes to, I mean, when it comes to either me with my horses and competing or whatever, you know, Dad's right there. You know, Dad's always my backup. You know, and so I finally I got my Girl Scout Gold Award, and I also got I received a American Legion Award, my American Nationalism Award. So I have a pretty little medal to go with it, and then I also.
And how old are you?
I'm 19.
Wow, you're really making some headway early.
Well,
That's great.
See, you can. That's the beauty of dogs. You can make them a part of your life, and they just continuously give.
Oh,
They just whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they're you're sitting and being sad. They come over, put a paw up, and look at you like that. They just wherever you go, they go.
that's the other point that Benny is really making with me, and so is Handcuffs in a long shot. I have had a few severe injuries with my head, a few severe concussions, and it's turned now.
From horseback riding?
No, the one was from horseback riding, but a few other ones was from other injuries, sports, whatever. And, you know, I have anxiety issues, and I do have some up and down depression issues. And, you know, I have my good and bad days. When I have a bad day, generally, if I walk in the door and I don't say anything to them, I walk straight to the back porch and I grab him. There's a reason why I'm doing it. And it's probably because I've had a bad day, and then they won't ask anything of it. Then I'll go up, I'll go lay down, go cool off or whatever.
I could totally relate to that.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just releases it all into them.
Yeah, and they just take
And
it.
He sits there, he lays next to me, you know, right after I had my shoulder surgery, I was upset because I wasn't able to horseback ride. I wasn't able to compete. And it was like, you know, what do I do now? Wasn't allowed to work, wasn't allowed to compete, and now, before I know it, next year I'll be right back into competing again, you know, and
But
they'll
they
be there.
save you.
Yeah.
Oh, they're there
Exactly.
unconditionally,
Yeah.
you know, and that's the thing that.
Now, is this for policemen that were? How did you start? This
It is
organization?
the organization we started several years ago was right after 2 of our friends got injured, Corporal Dan Hahn from Cranberry and Officer Jim Kuzak from Clairton. We knew we were looking for her project at the time, and then when Jimmy got hurt, he has 2 shepherds that he and his fiance work as search and rescue, but they became his defunct service therapy dogs. So having gone through something very similar myself, my dog that was my best friend all that time, I said, you know, we really need to get this out there and show people that this is so amazing. I mean, and now, you know, as an Army vet, I watch the programs that they're doing for the guys coming home now. So we wanted to get the word out. And I had a friend who had the autism dog, and I said, you know, so many people don't know all these things. And when I list the projects that are coming, they look at me. I said, yeah, there's a bed bug detection dog. They're what? I said, yeah, I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
And it's just all the things. So it was more educational, but it's so fun at the same time because every year somebody brings something new. Last year it was of Chaco, and He is gigantic, and when he showed up, everybody just kind of stopped and looked at, what is that?
What did he weigh?
You know what? I don't even know. The Mike that
He
brought
had to have
him,
been close to 200 pounds.
easily.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like a gigantic lion is what he looked like.
my Lord.
This year, we're going the other direction because one of the ladies that works here in Bethel with us has a pocket beagle. So I know that's probably going to be the
I
big,
want it.
that's going to be the big little top.
Give it to me.
Yeah,
Where
so
does
then
she live and when isn't she home?
she's going to be bringing him. She told me when she got him, and I said, well, we went from really huge that'll catch everybody's attention last year to we're going mini.
Yeah.
And we're cutbacks. We've
And
gone to a
the
new
bird,
little.
the Birdman
yes.
came last
Is the
year.
Birdman
that guy
coming
with the
this
He
year?
is.
bird.
He's coming.
Oh,
he's
great.
coming again.
Okay.
That in itself, to see those birds and to meet him
It is really funny too
is a
because
treasure.
we were at the expo with him 2 weeks ago, and he's doing a presentation. The front row was Labradors, and I thought somebody didn't think this through. He's doing a bird show.
birds
You have all the bird dogs up front, but it was
Aw.
it was really good that they were there. And we do have something new this year that we're going to do too. Is we're going to be raffling off 3 chances for a private luncheon with Shorty Rossi. He'll be in, and what we're going to do is we're selling tickets. They're $5 a piece, or 6 for $25. And August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, the evening lottery number will determine the winners. And those 3 winners will get 2 tickets to a private luncheon with Shorty, which is, having known him, and I just did a week's vacation with him in Mexico. It's a really neat pleasure for people to have some private time and talk
And
with
he
him.
was put on the earth, said that would happen.
Yeah, he's an incredible story all himself. I
really
recommend
is.
anybody who doesn't know it to read 4 Foot Tall and Rising because it's his life story.
Yeah.
And you'll like the man even more when you know what he's
Okay.
gone through.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him.
Yeah, he'll
Be
be in.
interesting.
I'm hoping to bring him for a show in the
Yeah, the
future
tail waggers.
to do the Tail Waggers show.
Yeah.
Right,
So your Pause for the Cause function, how many people showed up last year?
Last year, it was hard to. They came sporadic throughout, and I think the problem was the new venue. They were still doing some construction, so people weren't
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
This year, everything's done, so we've got a whole lot more rescues coming. Animal Rescue League, Washington Humane, Western PA Humane, Big East Bullies, Hello Bully,
Yeah,
The
you're having-
Birdman.
the Birdman.
The first year we did it, we had 225 dogs altogether,
Wow.
including their families. And a lot of them only came for
Wow.
the walk. A lot of them only came
Very
for,
nice.
just the demonstrations. And some of them only came just to meet Shorty. But they're still dogs. There's still
Yeah.
people coming.
But
Well,
that
that
was-
was quite a few people.
Yeah,
I
that's a
think
good
so.
amount.
I
and
think so. Wow.
the funny thing is like everybody, when I did my senior exhibition, they were like, how many people did you do with this? Let's just say 225 dogs plus
Some
their
of those
families.
dogs have
Yeah.
4 or 5 people with them
Yeah,
because the whole
that's,
family.
that's cool. Oh, this year
And
should
we-
be really
Yeah.
good.
And they were like, you dealt with how many dogs on top of your own? I says, yeah. And then, then I had it last year, and I think what we got a final count was there was 175 dogs there. So it was a little drop in the numbers, but like this year, everybody's like, oh, I know where the Collier Rec Center is now. I know where it's at. They understand that it's, now that everybody's been there because they did their big fireworks ceremony of opening the park, everybody's starting to understand where it's at.
Okay.
So
Just getting the word out like you're doing today. Just
Sure,
getting the word out.
sure.
People will realize.
The thing too is you do a registration for each person with a dog. It's a $15 registration, and they get one of the shirts for either the dog or the person. And then the dogs are given the bandanas. We have bandanas that'll be printed with the Pause for the Cause logo on them.
Now, will
They'll-
you have a shirt for the Pocket Beagle?
I don't think I can get one that small, but I think we might make one now. Now that it's kind of a challenge.
Yeah, the words.
just
Yeah,
leave it to
yeah,
me. Leave it to me.
material.
I'm the one that's good with cutting the fabric.
Cut out a little logo
Yeah,
and sew
yeah.
it onto.
I'll do this
Sew it
one,
on-
and I'll put it on his back.
Yeah, it just sewed onto a little
he's
Oh,
gonna
sweater.
pocket. Well, I said we make it a pocket.
A
That way
pocket.
she can just sit them right in the pocket. Yeah, it'll be interesting, and people can get all the information not only on this event but all of our events at www.wppbf.org.
And that'll be on at the end of the show, too.
Yeah, it's always hard. Those letters repeated.
Yeah.
But the website and the Facebook, if you go on to Facebook through Western Pennsylvania Police Benevolent Foundation, you can find us on Facebook, and all the events are posted there. The information on how to get tickets. You can actually purchase the raffle tickets for the luncheon through the website.
Wow.
You can use PayPal and then do it as a donation and just mark on there the tickets, and then we'll mail you the tickets out.
And this is a good thing.
It is, and you know what? Shorty has become literally one of my best friends over the last couple of years, and we're doing another event with him. He has a line of cigars, so we're going to be doing one at the smoke shop called Smoking with Shorty.
Oh, okay.
And we'll be doing several events throughout Pittsburgh while he's here. That's why he chose to include the calendar here in Pittsburgh, because he really enjoys it. He feels at home. He said it's like a family, and I said, well,
Yeah.
that's kind of the thing too.
Yeah,
you know.
that's the kind of people we are. We
It is exactly it. Pittsburgh's known for bringing you in and
Yeah.
showing you a time.
And with him having his own show on Animal Planet, that ought to draw a lot of people.
I learned firsthand after this vacation how many people
Yeah.
follow him, because every time we put something up,
Yeah.
I would see the reaction from it.
And you know, over the years with doing different shows about these guys, I've mellowed quite a bit, you know, about being frightened by them. And I am frightened by nothing other than snakes and stuff like that. But
Maybe we
they
should find a
really,
snake
they
at it.
just, you know, I'd see one and just freeze inside. And I groomed dogs for all my life, but professionally for 30 years. And since these years have passed and I've got to know these guys, it's like, wow.
Well, you know what? I love taking these
They
guys
love
out
you to death.
because, as a responsible owner, you know, it's my job to make sure I do what's right for them, and people see that example.
Yeah.
You know, I love to be able to take dogs this size and this type of breeds. Both breeds have a notorious past because the press
Yeah.
makes it that way. As you can see in front of you,
Yeah.
this is the extent of their, you know, their
And
their
our
lives
famous
with-
football player that was fighting them and all that kind of
And that
stuff.
doesn't help
and
anything
that was on the news. But nobody stops and thinks of what they do to these dogs to make them do that.
Well, I mean,
you
it's
know?
your job as an owner to be a responsible owner. Don't blame the dog, blame the owner. Now, let's face it. There are things can go bad.
With
I
any
mean,
dog.
with any person, any dog.
Right.
But as a responsible owner, you should minimize that as far as you can. Train them the correct way. You know, we do hand signals and voice commands for them.
You know, you see them on the news with these big thing collars, and then they have chains on them like this. It's like, oh my God, how cruel!
I could walk these two on a piece of twine.
You know, but it's just you know, something big and bad or whatever, and they're not that way. I mean, they're truly, and any dog can be born mean.
Correct.
It's just. You know, and you're the owner, and once they are and show you signs of that, then it's time for you to do something so that no one gets harmed.
And you know, Benny's a great example. He was abandoned on the streets, 11 months old. He was malnourished when we got the call. I went over, did a field test with him on the parking lot where we were at, opened my truck door and gave him his name and said, "Let's go." He jumped in my truck, and that was it. He's been there since. And,
my God.
you know, I tell people if somebody has a reason to be mad, it would be him. He was thrown away.
Yeah.
Settle down, Benny.
Yeah.
that's-
No,
yeah,
no,
right?
calm.
Calm
buddy.
Yeah. And here's the thing, and he has been like that. Even the only time I have ever seen him honestly really rambunctious
God.
is like whenever he first comes in the house.
Sure.
Like, you know, that's it. And other than that,
He's
you know,
energized because
yeah.
he's playing and
But
running.
Yeah.
you know, we have photos of him just laying in our laps like a baby on his back, scratching his belly, nothing. He doesn't move. You know.
Did
And
you see that commercial with the lady comes in and squats down and a little dog and the guy says that what is it, the happy dance, and the little dog dances around. Oh, that just melts my heart. You
You
know,
know, and
the welcome home dance.
Yeah.
That's what
You know,
yeah.
And like everybody says, you know, as an owner of horses too, like we have 2 of them. People say dogs and horses. Seriously?
That's a lot of
You're
work.
insane. That's a lot of work. It's not a lot of work. The people make it out to be a lot more work.
It's a labor of love.
Exactly. That's
what it
You know, somebody says, "Oh, you want to clean horse stalls and clean up dog crap in your backyard?" Yeah, I'll do it. Whatever. It's our babies. You know, they're
I
they're
did
like
it
our other children.
for all my life, scooping poop and grooming dogs.
I'd always
and-
wondered if aliens looked down and they saw like us scooping up poop, who would they think was in charge?
Yeah, who's running through here? Do you know
That's
what?
all I do.
That's a good thought.
With the way life is today and as hectic as it is,
Yeah.
especially in this profession, I go home, I can let those guys in and sit with me, and I don't have to worry about anything else. You know, Benny comes up, he actually will sleep on his back in the chair in the recliner, laid back with me, and we both take a nap in the chair. you know, and that's all he cares about. I'm
Well,
here.
some people like to sit for hours and hours and hours playing games on the TV, and I can't understand why they do that. And or the computer, they get computer crazy.
That's not our age group.
Yeah, so how, you know, don't go judging us, because we have a loving, giving heart, and we get joy, the word joy from animals.
Well, you can see these guys. They're just totally happy.
And I mean, with you saying that, with you saying about people playing games nonstop on their computers anymore, that is the issue in this day and age.
Yeah.
Children are sitting there playing on their DSs, whatever they have. I mean, I'm 19 years old, and I had one DS, and I think I only played it when I was at my grandma.
What is a DS?
It's like it's a little game system.
Pocket
It's a little
Nintendo.
game system.
little game.
You know, but like, you know, we have an Xbox that my grandparents bought us for Christmas the one year. What do I use it for? For Netflix before I go to bed. That's
So you're not addicted. You're not one of
No.
those.
I don't have time. You know, people let their kids sit and do
Don't
that.
judge us.
Yeah,
Just, you know.
horses and dogs. You
Yeah,
got free
yeah.
time. You got to spend it. There's plenty to
Yeah,
do.
and
I have
exactly.
parrots and dogs, so I'm
Yeah,
on the other
and
end.
you're-
Parrots
yeah.
are.
That's a little easier to clean up.
You think?
Yeah, the
You just
horses
pull
are
a tray.
slightly larger.
No, I have an aviary. I have a room full of.
Oh,
an
see,
aviary,
okay, so you
yeah.
took the harder out of it.
Which one of the birds sits when you take a shower in your shower and you sit
Oh,
on-
Ruka, my African gray. He has a perch in the shower, and he comes in and he sings. I tell him he's at Victoria Falls. And
My grandma has a cockatiel that does the same thing.
Sits in
His
the
name's
shower.
his name's Baby, and he flies around the house everywhere, doesn't go anywhere, and he'll literally land on her head in the shower, and she's just like, really? Can I get a shower by myself for once?
no, you can't.
No,
When
not
you
with
have
him.
bird- No, they love showers.
Look at this. Kiss, kiss,
Look
kiss.
at
Yeah,
that. So your main objective at your event is just to educate people on the different breeds and
Educate the
And-
people, responsible ownership, and helping to raise money for us to help officers and their families. Everything we make goes back out to help the families. And you follow the news in recent years, then you see how many times we've lost guys and injuries, you know, illnesses, officers in the line of duty. So unfortunately, we've been way too busy. So it's kind of a combo. We get to do something we enjoy.
Yeah.
We get to educate people. We get to have the dogs involved and the kids involved. And we're raising funds at the same time for...
Well, on that note, guess what?
already.
That time.
It's time
Aw,
to say goodbye.
Here, we'll have these guys say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
Yeah. Say goodbye. Say
Look at
goodbye.
all.
See you at pause.
Yes.
The applause.
And, yeah, please, everyone, come and join everybody. I want to thank you, and thank you,
You're
and
welcome.
thank you,
Thank you.
for coming to the Tail Waggers.
thank
And
you.
like always, remember the Humane Societies. If you have sheets or towels or anything like that, please, please, please bring them down or send them down. And I love you, all of you, and most of all, thanks from all the Tail Waggers.
Hi, my name is Acorn. Hi, my name is Alex Barker, the amazing! I'm Jacob Wagner.
Hi, I'm Austin.
This is Scout 350, and you're watching BPTV. Isn't that awesome?
This year, 1 in 3 older Americans will fall at home, risking a potentially lethal hip fracture. For information on making your home safer, visit orthoinfo.org. A message from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.